See this word guardian ad litem? Many people think they're familiar or know what this word means, which I'm sure they do. A guardian ad litem is a guardian that a court appoints to watch after someone during a case. When it comes to in-rem jurisdiction with all child support related situations deals with, when they appoint someone to watch over someone else, they're saying you have the power to deal with this man or woman and control their life, whether it be the parent or the children. But here's a trick that occurs. I'm going to tell you about being tricked by the beast. According to the trust relationships that existed before you got dipped into the child welfare issue, is this position of guardian ad litem had pre-existed. It does not have to be triggered first through a court order when it comes to child welfare. And the reason for this is something that we all already know. We all ever hear so often that the court is your paperwork. The court is your paperwork. Yet, as often as we hear that, or as often as we've accepted that in our minds, we fail to also apply that in daily experiences. Most people say, since court is your paperwork, don't go into their courts. Just send some paperwork in. Even though we know that there's a lot of liabilities and flaws to that where incompetence exists and the proper perspective of what the problem is in order for the solution to be reached, that has its own issue. Although there's some right concept to it. But see, that concept whereby your court is your paperwork is precisely what they're doing against people. A guardian ad litem, in order for them to be appointed by a court, does not involve the formality of stepping into some building with some man or woman with some robe in front of you and going by security. Since we know that your court is your paperwork, that court appointment of guardian ad litem was issued at birth through that thing called birth certificate. If we were to be realistic with each other and begin to speak about how the birth certificate is affecting people's life functionally, and all these phrases people go on about how it functionally applies to the reason why sequence of events are occurring in people's lives, the reason why they could come in and begin to do certain things, and all of a sudden it seems like an element of shock to people that, whoa, why are you doing this? This is the realistic aspect of it. That court appointment of guardian ad litem against people's children and against people's lives themselves was issued through that birth certificate itself, because your court is your paperwork. This is the reason why they can arbitrarily just begin to engage in processes, because that appointment of guardian ad litem had long occurred. That contract, that exchange had long occurred. They have beat a lot of people to the punches. They have set up their cards correctly. They have strategized correctly long ago, before people even realize anything, through trust relationship. Because the trust relationships between all the administrative agencies that were shown in previous videos had long pre-existed, and they are on standby playing this role automatically the moment that birth certificate and social security number is issued for that child or the parents. Another cute word for this guardian ad litem is called parents betrayal, which we went over on YouTube. Guardian ad litem sounds like something that has to first be triggered through a court or the quasi-court system of child welfare. Parents betrayal is the secret aspect of that's elevated, whereby nothing has to be triggered but your private contract with them, which makes you and your child their property, which automatically makes them the guardian to watch after them throughout their lives and control them based on in-rem jurisdiction by having a power over them to be deemed as a thing. See, back in the day, they used to sell slaves on podiums in center of cities and whatnot, and they will give the ones who buy it a receipt. Like, you'll go to a store, get your items, and the clerk will issue you a receipt listing the items. Well, the receipt back then when slaves were sold were certificates, whereby that same certificate can now be given to slave catchers that, okay, look, I certify that I'm the owner, so go catch my slave because my slave just ran away. Those same receipts are what's being issued when the mother pops that child out of her in hospitals, called birth certificate and social security cards. Now do you see the issue why there is a presumption of other people owning your child through the agreement of the original interest holder against that child, whether they're physically, emotionally, spiritually, right off the bat. There's a presumption of shared ownership to the life, to the soul, and the spirit of that child by way of the consent of one or both of the parents through that court appointment called a birth certificate. And even so much so, that birth certificate, as we've read in the how and why of the child support video, that birth certificate is how they account for live births, to which the Secretary of Child Labor uses as the head count, and the monetary value to that is what they use to tap into the grants. They even go as far to complete videos on the Patreon page. Take care and best of luck. Beautiful people, I'm inviting you to join my Patreon page. The things we speak of over there are basically synonymous with webinars, each videos, when it comes to the quality of information and the actual aspect of it compared to the one here on YouTube. We speak about residual income and how to sue people, make residual income if you're willing to do that. We speak about tort and garnishment, remove the speculations of maritime lien. We speak about banking, express trust, all the intricacies that are important. We speak about trust related matters, different types of trust, how to actually function in commerce. We speak about the intricacies of how to actually do the W-8 ban and what makes it foreign, what tax treaties are, the stuff people won't tell you about. We speak about things of spiritual nature. We speak of child support, the intricacies of it, how it's all property right, and how cloud of legality is brought to life. Exactly how they do it and how you tackle that beyond speculation. We speak about how laws are made and how it's applicable or not, the intricacies according to the Constitution. We speak about the truth of what most people are fearful and speculative about. We go over the elements of the things that people need to know when they make claims to sue people to make money, either criminally or civil. When it comes to substantive right, we speak about the venue and the playing field that a lot of people don't know that they're stepping into. If you don't know the venue and the playing field you're stepping into, you're in for a world of hurt. We clarify misconceptions. We speak about the intricacies of things we speak here on YouTube, but more in details on Patreon. Basically, stuff that are on YouTube are synonymous with things that are for the birds. One on the Patreon are the premium quality things. In the past, we went over IRS manuals in different ways when it comes to the Express Trust 98 number. We went over the intricacies of mortgage, land, title. We went over issues with things like driver's license and the treaties that are the solutions for it based on examples of my own first-hand knowledge and experience. Speaking about trust-related matters, more on child-related issues. We discuss other aspects of things. We discuss how to really come in as a natural person and the fact that there are actually tools that pre-exist that are meant to be used. A lot of people say, well, don't use this, don't use that. Well, do you know that same thing you're running away from is actually the solution? And do you know that's one of the ways and your first step to actually garnish it? We speak about the intricate details of discharge. We speak about things of reality that goes over people's heads. More in discharge, we speak about the functionality of spirituality and cosmology and astrology and how you can actually put it to use. We speak of the what, why, and how, and the importance of a foreign trustee and the resident status. We speak about spiritual things when it comes to plant, the functional aspect of it. We speak of the language of the difference in the truth of legislative fact compared to adjudicated fact and what it really means when it comes to judicial notice. We speak about the lunar mansions, how to put them to use. We speak about tort, U.S. Marshal Service. We upload documents and treaties, original certified copies. Tax evasion, we show the IRS manual that shows the difference between tax evasion and tax avoidance. We go more in about how to actually make your own pocket bigger in commerce. We show the videos and experience that I have when it comes to discharge and the explanation of it. We show elements and details. We speak of the things relating to holding people liable. Speak about the different intricacies of how these entities are used against you and how you ought to use it and to know the playing field. A lot more that a lot of people are seeking but will not find. Again, Each of these videos are synonymous to webinars of their own. We speak about how to get rid of statute of limitation. Most people's remedies, they say, are barred by statute of limitation, but there's a way out to that. We speak about how child supports are private and how and why they want to charge you thousands of dollars for some transcript. How to nip that in the butt and a different aspect of it in great details and in great increments. Speak about the intricacies of fraud, how to prove it, the different types and the elements to it. Speak about tort. Speak about speak about trust. Speak about the subtleties of invoking equity and how to structure your document, and so on and so forth. Speak about private right, the incorporation doctrine, how people use UCC 1-103207-308, how that really doesn't actually preserve your right, contrary to the speculation that a lot of people throw around, and that your solution is actually in plain sight, beyond the volatile and immutable UCC, which, by the way, the UCCs are also copyrighted. We speak about spiritual things of nature, how to use flame, and the functional aspect of beyond make-believe. I show my own first-hand experience in Chancery Court, and so on and so forth, and a lot more to come. Till next time, take care. Best of luck.